Yes.
Here we are.
No. Hold the fuck on.
Hold the phone.
You're a guest in my house, and you're gonna try to introduce.
I wasn't trying to introduce anybody. I wasn't trying to introduce. I get nervous.
It's my podcast.
When the lights turn on.
Okay. Let's start from the top.
All right.
Welcome to my podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Late, but better than never. So, how have you been? And this is Jeremy. This is Jeremy.
Also known as Soap Opera Boy.
Also known as El Puto del Barrio.
Yeah, she's not wrong.
Famosamente. No,
I see puto is a strong word, but you know, I like thinking of myself
Lo
as...
que si es eso, es eso.
I like to think of myself as sexually liberated. That's all I'm going to say. What was the original question? How am I doing?
How are you doing?
Okay, so I am doing like terribly well, if that makes any sense. Over the 3-day weekend, which was last weekend, I forgot what fucking stupid ass holiday we were celebrating, President's Day, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Some motherfuckers tried to steal my identity. So I get a phone call from T-Mobile, like, hey, this is T-Mobile in Houston, and someone's trying to buy a bunch of phones with a fake ID, and we had to call the police on them. And then I get a text message from the bank, like, yo, you still trying to keep this money or what? And I was like, that's weird. So then I call my bank, I'm like, someone's trying to steal my identity, like, don't let any of these charges through. And then fucking Chase just closed my bank account. They were like, all right, fuck this nigga. Like, he doesn't need any money. Like, he's good. So I didn't have any money, and I still don't have any money till this day.
But do you went inside of a building?
I did go inside of a building.
But did you go full Karen on them? Can I speak to the supervisor? Can I speak to your manager?
Nah.
Who signs your paycheck? May I speak to that person?
Get me on the phone with JP Morgan.
Get me on the phone with someone. You have to go full fucking Karen. I worked in Beverly Hills, like I was telling you. These bitches, these hoes do not give a fuck. Who else can I speak to? Because you can't do nothing for me. Give me the number.
See?
So you have to go off. Like, politely, but you go off.
I don't have it in me to be a Karen because they just I don't have it in me.
I'll be like,
I get shy.
If they're really they're fucking you over out of your money. Like, this is not a game.
Money.
Like, this is your fucking money.
Also, can I just, for the record, the people who tried to steal my identity didn't get a fucking dollar out of me, but I had to close my bank account. T-Mobile canceled my fucking thing. They didn't get any of my money, but T-Mobile closed my fucking, like, I have no phone. I'm literally walking around like looking for Wi-Fi on the brokest of broke boy tips with no debit card or nothing.
But what I'm saying is they did take your money because they took your motherfucking time.
Yeah, true.
Your time has value.
Yeah.
So they wasted your motherfucking time for no reason because you gained nothing. So you disturbed my time and my peace for what?
For nothing. This is like,
that's fine.
One time someone broke my car window and didn't steal anything. And I was like, motherfucker, I wish you would have stole something at least. So I had to fucking go and get that shit fixed. Excuse me, sorry, but yeah. Excuse me. But yeah, it's just like, yeah. And also, like, I had to close that bank account. I won't be able to get that bank account back. I had to start a new one. I'm probably going to lose my phone number that I've had since I was like, fucking, I don't know.
But why? People can transfer numbers all the time now. Like, I don't think your number has to do that much with it because you can try to get it somewhere else.
All right, this is way more complicated.
But either way, maybe you need to get rid of those people.
Yeah, maybe.
It's time for them hoes to go. Let them go, some pussy pass out the door. Let that shit go.
I gotta get rid of all my hoes. I had to put up like a message on my Instagram story, like, yo, like, someone tried to steal my identity. T-Mobile canceled my account.
I know.
I'm not actively trying to ignore any of my hoes.
I saw it.
Yeah. Everyone's like, so we hit you on Instagram now? Shh. Just chill. Nah. I'm not a playboy like that. I just play one on TV, kind of shit. But nah, it's just we're also
lies, hoes. I'm here to tell you lies.
But also this is a fucking how do you call it? This is way more complicated than it needs to be. But like my dad died like a few years back, and he was like the T-Mobile like the account holder. So I just been paying that shit. And then they were like, yo, your dad's been dead for a few years. You need to take responsibility for the account. And I was like, yo, I got you. Just call me later. And I just never did it. So now they're like, I'm like, oh.
But like, why would you never call them back?
Because I'm just a procrastinator.
But you have to set limits for things. Because if you don't set boundaries and limits, even for yourself, like, then you just spin out when you are capable of doing so much more with your time and able to achieve those things. They're fucking layups. So why wouldn't you just do it? Because
I don't know if this is like some Sagittarius shit or just me. It's like I'm just be falling I just be falling aimlessly through life. And like, you know, and then when shit.
But that's because you choose to.
Yeah, but I kind of like it that way. If that makes any sense. And then like.
I like making money.
Yeah, making money is cool, but.
And traveling how I want.
You know what's cooler than making money? Having fun.
You can have a lot of fun with money.
A lot of money too, but also making money comes with a lot of responsibility that I don't.
Hey, but if you learn mentally how to structure that shit, you can schedule some people in,
That's true.
Work under you. You ain't got to do all that shit by yourself.
That's true. But I feel like in my head, like I kind of always been like, oh, like the money will come one way or another, and so far that's always worked out for me.
Nah. It can come to you one way or another, but I don't want to be old when I get my fucking money. I want to be young, and I want to have a nice body, and I want to be able to do what the fuck I want to do.
That's true too. But like, if you spend your whole time working and saving and like making all the right decisions, then you just die of like fucking leukemia when you're fucking. Because you
can touch and affect people's lives. You can build shelters. You can build orphanages.
Let me give you an example.
Shit with money.
So my father, right, he worked for the city like my whole life. Like I'm 31. He started working for the city when I was born. Mm-hmm. And then he died when I was 29. So for like maybe a little bit before me. For like 30 plus years, he's worked for the city. And he had a pension, and he would always be like, yo, I got my retirement papers in my front pocket. Whenever I want, I could leave. But he was like you. He was trying to get as much money as he possibly can. So he's like, let me work these last 5 years and just overtime, and work as much as you want. Because the way it worked is your pension would be the last 5 years you worked, and they average off like the 3 highest years.
No, my way of doing
let me finish though. So he was hustling and fucking working hard, making all the right decisions, and saving his eggs in different baskets, yada yada yada. But do you know what the last thing my dad did before he died? Went to fucking work, and his heart exploded in his chest, and he just fucking dropped dead. And what does he have to show for it?
Yes, but he loved you,
yeah.
And that's what he has to show for it. Yeah. That he made an amazing person that he put out in the world, and he tried to put as much positive energy into you as he could throughout his life. So that's what he did. Also, he chose to keep you fed. Me and
my older brother were well compensated when he died. Plus, we have like a car and like a little property that we don't know what to do with. So it's like he did.
You were his joy. So
no. But,
that's what I mean. Yeah. So it's like. You can't always think of it that way because, like, that's how my dad is. Like, my dad works. But for me, I followed what my dad did. And my dad came here. He crossed the desert in Mexico, and he came here. And he worked for some people, but he also decided, like, fuck this. I'm smart. I can work for myself. I'm going to do it myself. And he owns his own business. And he has a janitorial company, and he takes over several, like, accounts. He has, like, more than 30, 40 buildings that he's running, basically. Running all of the janitorial for waxing, stripping, the skyscraper, washing, all that shit. But the point is, I'm pouring that into myself. So I worked really hard. I still took no shit, and I didn't fucking submit to all of the bullshit and racism that's in the fucking fashion industry. And I made my money, and now I'm taking a year off for myself. I'm enjoying my own time. I'm setting my own schedule and being able to do what I want to do. My day is 12 to 3 to 4 a.m. Like, it's whatever I want, and I put in those hours. And I know where my time is going, and I know the value of my time because I've been offered $150K, $140K to come work for someone, and I say, nah, I'm busy. Like, I'm working for myself this year. Yeah, so I'm offered that money. I just don't want to go do those jobs.
I have a friend named Abram. He's this kid. He was born in the Philippines, but he came over here when he was really little, and his dad died when he was really young. And like his mom went through some hard times. So I always call him Little Prince because there's an expression I've heard, like Little Prince is always trying to find a bigger crown. And I've seen, he's just like you. He had a really good job at Facebook and Instagram when they were all together. And he was like, nah, I don't like how these white people look at me, so I quit. And he's just constantly turning down money left and right. Yeah.
No, I kind of, but I don't quit. I stay there as long as I need to stay there, and then I move on to the next thing.
But the point I'm trying to make is that you and Abram are the same way. Is like you don't give a fuck about. You care about the money, and the success and the accolades and stuff like
no,
that. But
you don't actually know me. You just know someone who you think is like me, but they're not like me. They have some similar qualities, but I'm a different type of bitch.
You're a one-on-one.
They didn't make other motherfuckers like me. Like I have a 40,000 year plan. I don't have like a 30-year plan where I'm going to spend money on myself and go shopping. No. I invested my money in machines and like all this kind of shit. I didn't invest my money in a big closet full of shit.
Yeah.
Like anything I buy is sample sale. Anything like I use, I can make shit look good, but I don't spend my money on those kind of material possessions. I spend my money on longevity. I'm going to shift and change the world. So I don't, and humanitarian efforts and different types of things. Yeah. Like I'm going to build cities. Like, no. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, okay. That person is not like me because
so Abram is definitely not like you.
I'm doing different shit.
He's not trying to build any cities or anything like that. But one thing that you guys remind me of is one, you won't compromise your integrity for a big paycheck. You know, not a lot of people, most people in the fucking world see 150 racks and they're like, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll let you walk all over me, spit in my mouth, whatever. You and him both say, no. Yeah. Here's the thing. You're like, oh, I'm not doing it for me. It's me. You're setting up. All right, but let me see the thing. Yes. You said you're doing it for like a legacy. You're leaving behind. You're going to change the world and stuff like that. Abram is not as deep as yours, pretty vain. But one thing he always told me, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for my kids and my family and the people who come after me.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's a good question. Are you going to have kids?
I'm going to have kids. Masaki wants kids.
How many kids do you guys want? How many kids do you want? How many kids does he want? And
me personally, I think my idea has changed before. Wait, we were talking about something else. We'll talk about my future babies that are going to be gorgeous later. Yeah. We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
But what were you saying about your friend? You were saying something else.
That you guys remind me of each other because you're all about world domination and shit like that, and like
I'm about world domination
and like getting to the bag and being like no one's gonna tell me what to do. I'm gonna do it my way. You know what I mean?
Facts,
but he's like, you're like, I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for like later. I'm not trying to build for now. I'm trying to build for later, like legacy.
Yeah, because
he's the same way. He's a Scorpio. Yeah. He's mad crazy, but he's
I'm a Scorpio, right?
He's fucking always planning years and years in advance. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't even plan until like next week.
But that's because you don't want to. That's the mental space that you choose to occupy. My brother, that's why you ain't got no black girlfriend, because they don't talk shit to you like this.
I need anyone who's watching, I need a black girlfriend to help me like fix my hair. So yeah.
No.
Yeah. She said negative. First of all, you don't know if I have a black girlfriend or not, so let's stop.
I already asked you that question. I asked you, have you ever dated a black girl? And you're like, no, I've hooked up with black girls. So you fuck black girls, but you don't date black girls. You just be dating white girls.
I never, okay. So, this is gonna sound crazy. I don't know how to say this, but I've never, I never found a black girl that I wanted to date. Except one. There's this one black girl I wanted to date. Her name is Melanie Barnes.
Because you only eat what you can hunt. But if you can't hunt,
fuck. Oh, wow.
Then you ain't eating. That's all I gotta say.
Black girls don't like me. Anyway, yeah.
But that's because you be coming in surface.
What does that mean?
Surface level. Hi. Like you be coming in. How you be coming in? How do you be coming at black women? Like how do you be talking to them?
Like that's regular people. I don't see. Nah, I don't know. I just be myself and black. I feel like for me, I always had this weird feeling like black girls don't like me. One, because I'm light skinned and like they think I'm stuck up. Or two, because like growing up where I grew up, the black girls used to bully the fuck out of me. And I never knew why. And then I found out later.
They liked you, bitch.
No, I found out because I was light skinned and they used to hate me for that shit.
No way.
And then the other thing was, I always feel like I want to date like certain black girls, right? But for them, I feel like I'm not militant enough or something like that. I don't know. Like I
don't think it's about being militant.
But I have to be like tougher than I am or something like that.
No, I don't even think it's that. I think it's that you have to be confident in who the fuck you are.
I'm very confident.
For what you stand for. That's true. But I don't know. You should go out.
Also, I'm gonna go on the record and say this: white women are just easier to have sex with.
Because they're easy to catch with some granola in your hand, like Mary Spears said.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like, some granola and a yoga mat. You're like, yeah? You want to come over here?
I ain't say that. He said that. He's the person. Jared's not me.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
My future babies. Yeah. I think I want kids.
How many?
I think maybe 2. 2 is, I think a lot, but that's like...
That's a good... You don't want them to have one child.
No, I don't think I want to have just one. So I think that's that. But I don't have time right now. Once we like move to Santa Barbara, we'll have time. Like
I'm trying to have 2.
Manifesting my life in Santa Barbara.
What's in Santa Barbara?
The beach. And life and sunlight and peacefulness. What town
are you from again?
I'm from a lot of places. I was born in LA. My parents moved to Cleveland.
Sorry to interrupt you, just real quick. When you say I was born in LA, you were born in the city of Los Angeles or Los Angeles County?
City of Los Angeles.
Okay.
My mom worked at UCLA Hospital. So I lived in LA. And then they moved to Ohio, got divorced. My dad moved back to California. And then I would go back and forth. So sometimes I would live with my dad. Sometimes I would live with my mom. And in first grade, I got really sick because it was cold. So they sent me to live in California. So I lived there for like a year. And then my mom got custody and she wanted me back. And so then...
Which one do you like better? Cleveland or Los Angeles?
I would never live in Cleveland again.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cleveland, never living there again. Like, it's just not moving enough for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't like the winter. Even me here in New York, like, I'm in New York because New York is a magic city. It has energy. It has, like, life. But, like, fuck no. I do not want to go. No. I'll go back to LA. I don't want to go to LA. I want to live in San Francisco. I've never been to San Francisco. I've always wanted to go. That's my favorite city in the world. Yeah. I've traveled, like, to a lot of places, but that's my favorite place.
I've never been to San. I've been to LA.
It's kind of like New Orleans.
No, I just went to New Orleans for the first time in January. January 1st, I flew to New Orleans to meet my girlfriend, partner's
Let's get into
parents.
this. Yeah. Let's get into your relationship. That's why we're here.
Yeah, okay. So, my relationship is, you've met my girlfriend twice, right? Yes. She likes the term partner because I think she's like kind of non-binary, so like.
Okay.
But just for like, since we're just a couple of niggas doing nigga shit, I'm just gonna say she and girlfriend to make it simple. If you see this, I'm sorry, babe. But yeah. So, I met this girl on Tinder. I just get like a random like message, like, why are you so far away? I was in Miami chilling with my friend Sarah. Mm-hmm. And so I meet this girl and I'm talking to her and I was like, all right, she's cool, but like, I don't think she's that cool or whatever. I wasn't that interested in her or anything like that. But I was like, fuck it, let's go on this date. And you know how when you're nervous, like, oh, I'm about to go on a date, like, you know what I mean? I never met this person. You're all like, oh, I gotta be charming. I didn't feel none of that shit. I was like, yeah, fuck it, whatever happens, happens. So then I go and I see this chick way hotter than she was in all her fucking little Tinder photos, like fucking hips out to here, like, you know what I mean? Like those nice big childbearing hips. Fucking, this woman was only talking about fucking science and shit. I was like, damn, I felt so stupid talking to her. I was like, I'm too dumb for this shit. And then I'm like looking at her and I'm looking at her glasses because she has tape around her glasses. And she's like, oh, I broke my glasses. I was like, damn, can this bitch read my mind? And then she's like, I'm thinking I want to try on her glasses. And she's like, you want to try my glasses on? And anyway, so I've been in love with her since then. Mm-hmm. I date her. We're in a polyamorous relationship, which means...
Homegirl right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, which means I learned like that we can both date other people and see other people and stuff like that. But
so who first discussed the relationship
her
status? Okay.
She only wanted to be polyamorous. Like, I've also been very polyamorous my whole entire life, but I'm from the old school of polyamory, which is just cheating.
Which is just lying to a bitch.
Yeah, just lying to your bitches and
just lying.
Hoping that they don't.
No, I ain't do that. I don't know who that is. That's my cousin.
Yeah, that's my cousin. Yeah. Mm-mm. That's my Caucasian cousin. Yeah.
No.
But yeah, so we're doing that, and so to me, I was doing it like ethically non-monogamous, so I could just fuck whoever I wanted. I'm not trying to date anyone because having one girlfriend is annoying enough.
That's sad that that's the way you see it. That you see it as annoying instead of seeing it as like, I'm hanging out with my best friend.
You know what? You're right.
That's really sad.
Wait. I'm just trying to sound cool. It's not annoying, but it's a lot of work. Do you
but
understand?
It shouldn't be.
No, but it is though. Like, look at you and your man. Like, I know he's your best friend and you guys work together, but it's a lot of work to consider his needs and your needs and have space for his shit.
It's not if you actually like that motherfucker. But I like that motherfucker, so I will take into consideration.
I actually like Emily. I would go as far as to say that I love her, but sometimes it's a lot of work. Like when I have to deal with her shit and my shit at the same time, or sometimes I have to sacrifice for me in order for others. You know what I mean? Like to me, that's a lot of mental, emotional work because I'm the kind of person. I'm just like a lone kind of person. I always do shit on my own. I hate asking for fucking help. You know what I mean? Like that shit is difficult for me. And then I'm the type of person like, your fucking parents yelling. I don't know about you, but my mom used to fucking holler at me and smack me and like, I'm sorry I'm putting our family business out there, mom, but you know what I mean? Like, so I learned recently, I was on a date with another girl who's fucking ugly as shit. And I've been telling her we're going to chill again lately, but I'm never going to see you, girl. Whatever your name is, I'm never going to see you.
Damn, why you do that to her? Why you got to do that to her?
She was mad cool.
She might be nice.
She was mad cool and she made me learn a lot about myself. But I was like, I had to go back to her house and be like, yo, I'm mad depressed, bro. I don't know if I can do sex right now. Like, I forgot to bring condoms. I was like, nah, it's a no. We're not doing it. But she told me, like, yo, when you were little, there was no room for you to express your wants and needs. So now, as an adult, you don't know how to do it. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Because that's from my mom. Like,
but I'm sorry to say, my love, you could choose to go on that journey. I chose to read books about it. I chose to express my feelings. I chose to learn more about myself.
I agree.
And that
100%.
is a choice.
Yeah.
So I chose to be celibate for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I learned more about myself. When I moved to New York, I've tried to date. I went on a few dates. I met some people. But I didn't really like anyone. And everyone was really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like, one dude was a fucking ER doctor, and he tried to, on our first date, tried to grab me and finger me on their table. After, 20 minutes, I was like, I don't fucking know you.
What ethnicity was he?
I think it was, Italian.
Yeah, it sounds
but still,
that sounds like
fucking
a white man.
ridiculous. So that's what I'm just saying.
Do you know why?
Do you know how many times I heard, I've never been with a black woman before. I've never been with a black woman before.
See, no, I get
it's fucking gross.
No. I get the opposite. 2 or 3 nights ago, I hooked up with this girl that I met in a bar. And I could have sworn this bitch was Billie Eilish. She looked just like her, and she was like, "Oh, I was telling her like, oh, I'm partnered. I'm in a polyamorous thing with my whatever."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, so tell me about your partner. Is she also white?" So instead of
so she was white.
Yeah. So the Billie Eilish girl is definitely white. So instead of hearing, "Oh, I've never been with a black guy before. I've never been with a,"
she's like, "Do you like other white hoes like me?"
They always ask me, "Yo, the other girls you date?" Like. To get back to the polyamory thing, recently on Valentine's Day, I started hooking up with my ex-girlfriend. And I had to tell her, like this, her name's shouts out to you, Trap, I love you. I had to tell...
I heard you a shout out.
I could have shout out the whole block if I could. So I'm like, me and her get into it. We haven't talked in a few months. We broke up in September.
Why did you guys break up?
Just because that Trap, I love you, but she's just a fucking baby. You know what I mean? She's like a little Jewish princess. She can't do shit. You can't cook. You can't, not even to be on some macho shit like, oh, my woman needs to cook. But if you like to eat, you gotta know how to cook. True or false? You have to know how to feed yourself. Or if
I can cook.
That's what me
Mexican
too.
Food.
I can cook too. I can cook and I have my
soul food.
I can cook and I have my own.
Knows how to cook.
I can cook. I have my own money. I can order seamless if I don't want to cook. I can do both. I can feed myself. But you know how frustrating it is for you? I'm a fucking insomniac.
I don't have time for
that's
nobody
okay.
to do all that
but
stuff.
that's what I'm saying. I don't need, that's what he's cooking for you right now probably. But
he's chef level.
That's what I'm saying. She was it came to the point where she wasn't a good partner because I would have to be I had to be her father figure, and we would get into arguments.
But like I said, it's just a choice, bro.
But we would get into arguments, and whenever she would be acting fucking helpless, and that's the way I see it. I felt like she was choosing to be helpless because whenever I wasn't around, she was totally capable of handling her own shit. But we would get into arguments.
This is messy. This is already you already talking about 3 bitches that you just talked about right now. The ugly one you don't want to fuck with no more is the one that you're in the polyamorous relationship with.
Yeah,
and it's this old girl that you used to be fucking. Actually, I just caught my tongue, but I was like,
Yeah.
Oh, and don't forget about his roommate, because I already knew about that. I forgot to tell you guys about that. We're going to talk about that next.
Okay, but me and his roommate are into each other because both our dads died, and it's all a thing like that. Also, she's cool. I love her. Shouts out to her. I'm not going to say your name.
I love her.
Yeah, she's
dope.
a sweetheart.
We're not going to say her
I'm not
name.
going to say your name.
We're not saying her name. But I actually, as a person, like, I don't really like that many people, but I actually like her.
Yeah,
she seems to be very
a sweetheart.
genuine.
Yeah, she's
very nice.
She's a little young for me. She's like 25. I'm 31. So it's a bit.
What's your social security number? No, I'm just kidding.
100. Nah, I already lost my identity once. I ain't about to do it again. But so they're saying, so like me and this girl Rebecca, who I call Trap, I get frustrated easily. I don't know how to communicate that well. I grew up in a house with yelling, and that's just how niggas handle their problems. But she fucking would be like the smallest thing. Like I remember one time she's trying to get an apartment. So she calls her mom, "Mom, I'm calling you again. What's my social security number?" And I'm just sitting there like, yo, are you serious? And then like when she got off the phone, I was like, yo, you should really know your social security number. And she was like, why do you have to talk to me like that? If I was your child, would you? And I had to like, yo, you're not my child. You're a 30-year-old woman. Get it together. So that's what I mean.
But what did you say to her? Word for word. Like, what did you say to her in that moment when she said that shit?
Literally, that word. You're not a 30-year-old. I mean, you're not a child, you're a 30-year-old woman. But me and her just broke up because I would get so frustrated with her, and she's like, oh, you're angry and mad all the time. And I could have expressed myself better, but at the same time, like, I can't, like, I don't know.
But that's the shit I'm telling you, is like dating someone black is different than dating other motherfucking people.
But that's what
I'm sorry to say, but that's really the truth. It's just a feeling. It's just different.
But I can tell
it's different.
I can tell you and I have been through a lot of shit, right? And we have thick skin, and we know how to handle our shit, right? Mm-hmm. Like I'm gonna always be okay no matter what, because I know how to take care of me, and you're the same way. Like I could tell you've been through it, and like no little shit is gonna break me.
No,
you know what I mean? It could be some crazy shit. When my pops died, I just thug through it. I'm the youngest one in my family. I planned his funeral. I paid for that shit. I fucking, I handled all the business. I'm handling his affairs till this fucking day.
Yeah.
Like I never shed one tear for my father, and it's not like I don't miss him like crazy. Don't get me wrong. I'm a very sad person. I'm like my mom. We don't cry because when shit gets tough for us, when they say when the going gets tough, the tough get going. It's what it is. It's not bad. I agree.
Take a nice bath, get a lot of wine, and watch a sad ass movie.
I almost cried in front of my shorty last night, but this is what happened. I was watching fucking Euphoria. This bitch.
Don't tell me.
No. Okay, well, I'm just saying.
Don't tell me.
It's a cut.
Don't tell me anything. No.
All right, this is a fucking.
I need to watch it and wait since it's over.
This doesn't. Yesterday was the last episode. This doesn't spoil anything, but there's this one scene they keep having, and it's like Rue crying about her dad dying. They play this shit every episode this season, and that shit got me all choked up, and I'm getting all like weepy and like have my hands in my face like that. And she like comes and she like does a thing. She's like holding me from behind, and I'm really upset. I'm as close to crying as I'm capable of, and I just feel one little tear on my neck. And I look, and I was like, yo, are you crying? And she's, no, I'm fine. And then automatically that switch comes in, and I have to be the consoler and like be there for her. That's the kind of person I am. But that's the kind of person I am.
It's your...
I understand that.
Because like, it's your... You don't have to necessarily always be that
That's
person.
how I am, though. I always have to be that guy. I have to take care of everybody.
But you have to learn...
To take care of myself.
To take care of yourself, and to also, not to just take care of yourself, but also to just let the emotions flow through you and flow out of you. Because you can't just hold on to them and say, I'm not going to accept them. It's like putting up a wall against something, up against the wind. Like, the wind has to go through. It's better to just have a fence. Like, it flows through you, and just say, I am experiencing this. This is my present moment.
I understand
but
that.
shit's going to...
Look, I understand that, and I do have these emotions. I just kind of don't act on them.
Go out and hiking, nature, whatever.
Even when I'm by myself, I can't cry. I'm just fucked up. Because the thing is, like, I grew up in a fucked up situation.
I kicked you dick one time.
Nah, I still want to cry. But fucking, I grew up in a real fucked up situation, and, like, You know what I mean? Not that fucked up because I had a mother and a father, but like I grew up in the fucking, I don't know. I grew up in the projects and shit, and I was always this soft.
In fucking New York City.
Yeah,
so,
New York City and then fucking hood and shit like that. And like I was just a soft ass kid, you know what I mean? So I had to. It's like
you lose your innocence.
Yeah, that's what I grew up with the fucking, and also I was a weirdo. I was into skateboarding and skinny jeans and all this shit like way back, and everyone used to call me faggot.
And also you're mixed.
Like, I'm not fucking mixed. I hate when people say that shit. I'm not mixed, bro. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm an Afro Latino. That's it.
Okay.
All right. Don't look at me as ingredients. Look at me.
You're just Puerto Rican.
I'm a black Puerto Rican.
Okay.
That's
it.
Okay.
So this is what I wanted to talk to you about.
But both of my grandmothers were white though, yeah. But they were Puerto Rican white. Different
experience than you. So I wanted to talk to you about that because you're always saying you're Afro-Latino, which I think is very true to who you are.
Yeah.
And for me, when you said that to me when I met you, I was like, wow, like that's very different for me because my mom is black and my dad is Mexican. And I don't know if that's a label that I can hold as Afro-Latina or not, but it's very challenging to me because half my life I lived with my mom. Yeah. And when I was like a kid, I lived with her until I was like 13. And I lived with my mom. My other brothers and sisters are black and she's black. And my stepdad was black. So I fully lived in that experience. And then when I was 12 to 13, I started fucking up. My mom was like, you gotta go live with your dad. Yeah. And then I went and lived with my dad and I lived a completely Mexican life until I was 17. I moved out at 17 because I was like, my stepmom was, so I just had to leave the house. But I was like, I don't really know if that's a label that fits me or doesn't fit me. So it's like a big question that you were just saying who you are. You didn't do anything. But I was like, wow, like that's a very... And I've seen like Amara La Negra. I've seen obviously like Celia Cruz.
Yeah.
Like I've seen people.
Shout out to Celia Cruz. I'm sorry I keep doing my shots out. That's a bad bitch right there.
Shout out to Celia Cruz.
Yeah, I was listening to Celia Cruz. I was listening to her today.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's just a really interesting thing that I've been thinking about since I met you. Was like that really struck something in me, and I was like, oh, is that something that? Because I was even talking to my dad. I think like. In April, my stepmom was having a big surgery.
Yeah.
And so
how's she doing? Is she all right?
She's doing better. She had a crazy surgery. I don't know if she wants me to talk about it.
Yeah.
She almost died. Okay. Like the surgeon came out and he had blood on his shoes.
Ooh.
But I went there.
On the shoes?
On the shoes. He came out and talked to us. He had blood on his shoes. But like my dad, like I love him to death, but he was just like, couldn't focus on it. So he was like, I'm going to focus on what's happening with her, and he has to be there for the kids, so that's why I flew there. Yeah. I bought my ticket the next day that he told me, and I was like, okay, I'm leaving. But like, he didn't want to think about it so much that he got all the carpets changed in the entire house, so that he could also get the carpets changed, but also not focus on what's going on. Yeah. The same day as the surgeries.
Because men are very fragile creatures.
I know. So that's why I went. I went home because I was like, she's my stepmom, but like my sisters, that's their mom. Yeah. Like, it's like I have to be
She's family.
Yes. Yeah. So I was like, that's something that I was like finding similar. But anyway, the Afro-Latina thing, I was talking to my dad about it, and he was like, but like, you're also Mexican, so like, why are you just saying that you're black? And I'm like, I know, but I am black. Like, I am a black woman. Like, I do live in that experience. And he was like, yeah, but you're also Mexican. Like, what about me? Like, you don't care about me. And I was like, it's not that I don't care about you, but this is how the world perceives me. It's how I walk into a space, and it's how I'm followed around in a store when I'm going with all of my coworkers. Like, and we're all doing shopping at a store as designers, and I'm the person being watched. So like, it's not just how I feel, and it's not that I don't care about you, but like being Afro-Latina.
Yeah, people treat you weird.
It's a very different label for me that I haven't really thought about.
Also, okay, so it took me a long time to get to this place. Because, you know, I'm Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans, a lot of like the Caribbean Latinos are sometimes
like the diaspora Latino.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I even don't feel comfortable being like saying Latino. To me, I prefer Hispanic. I feel like it fits me better. But
Hispanic is a made up shit by fucking Reagan.
It's all made up though, honestly. But the thing is, look. So here's the thing. It took me a long time because my grandfather was like Nelson Mandela, blue black. You know what I mean? He was this black dude with blue eyes, and like he spoke Spanish and barely spoke English and shit like that. And he would tell my mom, like, oh, I don't care if that motherfucker is as black as my shoe. He better be Puerto Rican. We're not black, we're Puerto Rican. So my pops was that type of way too. So he was, oh, you're not black, you're Puerto Rican.
No,
like literally, there's dreadlocks coming out of my head. It just grew like that. I'm a black dude. You know what I mean? There's Stevie Wonder could see I'm a black person, but for a long time, it took me to be like, oh, I'm not black, I'm Puerto Rican. Like I had that internalized racism inside of me. But then I realized. It's like,
I came out of a black pussy, so I mean, what can I say?
My mom's is like
I had to be like, okay, yeah, that's what I had. Like,
my mother's side of the family is where we get all like the most African, like our African features and stuff like that. But she's not. She's my color. Me and her are not light skin and shit like that. But she's black. We're all black. My brother is like darker than me and you. Like,
but I think part of that, from what I've read and what I've listened to on like YouTube and stuff. There's a big section of history where people were trying to but they were trying to say they're more Spanish than they are. So in Mexico, they would sell certificates saying like, I'm 95% Spanish and something French. Like, they would do all kind of crazy stuff. Yeah. So it's like, maybe it's a part of that time period. And like,
it's because there's all this racism and
especially,
no offense to white people, like, but they tricked us into hating ourselves. So the more you resemble a white person, the better and easier life will be. So it's like it makes this thing in your head.
It's internalized.
Yeah, I don't want to be that. I want to be like that. Let's treat these people better because they look like this and stuff like that. I was in fucking Mexico City in 2020, right before the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And I'm with my friend who's also half Puerto Rican. His mom's Puerto Rican, his dad is Mexican. So he moved to Mexico a few years back. I was like, meet me in Mexico City, let's drop acid, let's do this thing, let's chill. We went to have a nice dinner in this neighborhood in Mexico City, Roma. Like the rich neighborhood.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
My friend is a dark-skinned Mexican. I'm like a black Afro-Latino person. So they put us in the worst fucking table. They fucking were ignoring us. We asked them for a specific...
But what did he say?
My friend speaks fluent Spanish and lives in Mexico.
But what did he say?
Like, okay, so one thing, for example, we were like, because we weren't drinking at the time for whatever reason. No. But listen, we asked specifically, don't put any alcohol in our drinks. Oh... Okay, and then they give us alcohol on the drink and shit like that. They're being so they're just acting crazy. You know what I mean?
No. They're not acting crazy. I'm sorry. Partially, it's two things. There's two things. When you got there and they sat you there and they sat you in a bad table, she's like, oh, no mames, güey, ¿por qué me sientas aquí? Like, what the fuck, man? Like, why the fuck you put me over here in this shitty ass table?
Right.
You have to speak up. Right. Because that's how Mexican people are. And you don't fucking joke around and you're kind of joking, but you're kind of busting their balls. Like, no mames, güey, ¿por qué me sientas aquí? Like, esta mesa es una pinche mierda. Like, this is a shitty fucking table. And then you say, hey, güey, nosotros no estamos tomando because nosotros estamos, vamos a manejar. Like, you would say, we're not drinking alcohol because we're going to drive. Something like that. Like, if you say, oh, we're not drinking alcohol, Mexican men are like, fuck you, you're drinking alcohol. They think it's a fucking joke. Like, they don't give a fuck about you. They just do what they want to do.
But also it was other shit. Like, all the other Mexicans around us were like the fairer skinned Mexicans and stuff like that. It would take us forever for a server to come to us and stuff like that. Also, maybe it has something to do with us wearing a fucking Puebla shirt, so maybe there was like, oh, fuck this nigga. But anyway, they were just treating us differently. I could feel it. I could feel it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I have had shit said to me, and they knew I spoke Spanish. Yeah. Like, I've had shit said to me.
So basically, and it's like, not even trying to be on some funny shit, but like, like realistically, as an American, I probably have a little more money than these white Mexicans. Honestly, I had an Amex and shit like that. When I pulled out the Amex and they want to start acting right and stuff like that. But what we did is we had this one server. He was also from Puebla. He was also a darker skinned Mexican. And we struck up a conversation and we asked him, like, homie, like, yo, do you guys pull tips?
But I don't know if you would say like as an American. Like that's so lame to just be like, as an American, like I'm better than you. Like low key, that's what it felt like.
Let me reiterate. Not that I was better than them. I might have more money than them.
But you don't know. Maybe it's the fucking cartel.
Because I get an American wage.
Possibly, yes.
But American wage is the wage in Mexico is
but
flat.
It's more the American thing than just like I'm a fucking person and no matter my skin color, I fucking have money, bitch.
That's what I'm saying. Don't treat me, especially
that's different.
But we had to flex on these haters real quick because they were acting weird. Everyone else except this one server, and we asked homie like, yo, do you pull tips? He was like, yeah. I said, okay, so we're going to put a little bullshit ass tip on the credit card. And I made sure to use my American Express just so they could see, like, yeah, I have some kind of something. Anyway, I want them to see me. Like, yeah, look at me. Like, I'm not the one that you're just going to disregard. And then we give him some little bullshit tip on the fucking credit card. And then we just pull out, like, a wad of, like, pesos. I don't even know how much it was, but it was probably, like, $50, American, whatever. And we just, here you go. That's for you, Papa. Keep that.
Yeah.
Don't share it with us fucking. He's a Boy Scout, though, so I had a funny feeling he went and shared it.
Nah, probably not. Who knows?
Who knows, yeah.
That was like, hey, I'm about to go fucking to the fucking do some shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm about to.
I forgot what we were talking. But to bring it back, like, it took me I struggled with that shit my whole life. And I don't like being referred to as mixed because it's a very Caribbean thing to be like, whatever island you're from or from your people are from, that's what you are. Like, if you're Haitian, you're not black, you're Haitian. If you're Jamaican, you're Chinese. If you're like a Chinese Jamaican, then you're still Jamaican. You know what I'm saying?
I can understand what you're saying, but I think it's the perceived value that we place, that we think that the word mix is negative because people have thrown that in our face or people have said it to us in a negative way. So I don't think that mix is a bad thing because it takes a bunch of fucking ingredients to make a dope ass cake, and bitch, I'm sexy as fuck. So what you gonna do about it? Oh well, like if I mix, who cares?
But I'm saying, your parents were from two very different cultures,
very different culture, very different worlds.
So like, you can see the divide. You can see like, okay, this is what I am. Like sometimes like
that's why I wanted to talk to you
people in the streets will always ask me like different things. They see me and I'm kind of a little racially ambiguous, so they always want to know, what are you? Are you this? Are you that? But the thing is, a lot of the times I get this question and it drives me fucking nuts. I get this question: which one of your parents is white and which one of your parents is black?
Neither.
Both of them are fucking brown.
That's my life. Yeah. I think I've met one or two people who are Mexican and black, and I think I've met one person in my entire life whose mom was also black.
Yeah.
And they were half Mexican. So I understand what you're saying. Like, it's very different.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't give a fuck because I don't take that so much as like maybe it's just me.
Yeah.
I'm a jiggy motherfucker. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm cute as fuck. So like,
me too.
Like, I know you asked me because you like, how the fuck I make them babies?
Yeah,
the fuck?
That's
is this
true
a different
too.
level?
Yeah.
Is this a fucking avatar? I know.
But also, like,
I be that pretty motherfucker.
Do you ever do this thing? I be making shit up now. Like, I got so tired of them asking me. And for some reason, like, white people, like, okay, whoever is listening to this and is a white person, I want you, after you listen to this, go on your little Googles and look up Afro-Latino. Okay, because we're tired of explaining to you why we're all mixy and shit like that. Because you motherfuckers made us with rape and slavery and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So we don't want to know. It's not my job to educate you bitch ass motherfuckers. And, you know what I mean? But anyway, the point is, I got so tired of people asking me, oh, what are you? Are you this? Oh, you're that, right? Because they say that shit with mad confidence. Oh,
you're
bro,
that?
you're black and Chinese, right? I'm like, facts, bro.
I've been told I'm Jamaican and fucking Asian.
You know what I started telling people?
Thanks.
This is my new jam. I love telling people this shit. Oh, what are you? Oh, my mom is Haitian, but my pops is Filipino. Tell me it doesn't look like that.
Maybe.
It worked. That's what I'm saying.
No, somebody said some shit to me. I just like to be obnoxious. I'm just so obnoxious because when people say shit to me, like, somebody says something to me like, oh yeah, something, and because you're white, and I said, yo soy una pinche mexicana, huevón, vete a trabajar, pinche homeless, and I was like, fuck you, and then he was like, I scared the shit out of the homeless man one day. He told me that I was mixed. A homeless man is yelling at me, oh, really? You're half white. Oh, I went up on him. I was like, viva Mexico, pinche puto. Like, who the fuck are you?
Dude, speaking of homeless dudes, you can ask Morgan about this. This happened to me recently. I was in Barcelona with her. Last year, 2021. Last year, I go with Morgan, and we're in Barcelona. And we're just chilling, walking home. And some dude, this African homeless dude, just started calling me faggot. And I'm like, yo, who the fuck are you talking to? So me and him are getting into this big like altercation. It's getting mad, like theatrical. And we're like this close, like, oh, fuck you, bro. I'll smack the shit out of you. I was like, yo, oh, fuck. And we're all like yelling at each other. And Morgan's like, yo, let's leave. And I was like, no, fuck this nigga. Like,
there's a reason why I'm not a man. Because when you said that to me, I was like, I can imagine myself having brass knuckles. That's why I'm not
somebody
meant to
in
be
the
a
face.
man. Like,
That's why I can't
I only
get.
carry brass knuckles. That's why I can't be a fucking
That's
man.
why I don't like to get confrontational. Because when I get that mad, it's like, oh, we're about to fight. Basically,
we're about to do some shit. Like, we're about to move some motherfucking furniture in this.
Yeah, we're about to handle our business. That's how you group handling my problems. But fucking this dude just like going off, and I was like, yo, bro, I don't even know what the fuck you're mad about. And he was like, look at you. You have everything. I have nothing. I stopped and I was like,
hey, low key though, that's why people be mad at me when I travel.
I thought about that shit. And I was like, one, I'm not gonna gain nothing from beating up a fucking homeless dude. And I looked at him and I was like, yeah, you're right. Fuck you, I'm going home. Ha! I laughed in his face. I was like, have fun sleeping on the street, bitch. That's life. And I hope that nigga is still. I hope that nigga is still homeless. I hope his parents are dead. I hope his children are homeless too.
I didn't say that shit.
No, fuck out of here. Cause like, bro, I literally know what it feels like to not have anything. I spend nights sleeping on the street myself.
People think that this shit is the same. Just because you're in America does not mean you have the same experience as white people in America. We do not have that shit.
I've definitely tasted my share of
poverty. Our fucking YouTube still has fucking commercials. We are not on the same motherfucking
not
thing.
Me, like, baby. Ad block. Let's go. Hey, bro. But yeah, I know what it is to not have shit. And like, you know what's crazy to me? Like, no matter how bad my life has ever gotten or been, I never wished bad on nobody. I never hated the next man for having what they have.
And that's fucking key. You cannot hold that negative energy in your spirit. Because that is what just sinks you down to a crazy place. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Shit. When I remember I used to always see all my little fucking white friends like traveling all over the world, and I had no fucking money, bro. I was poor as shit, and I was like, damn, bro, I would love to go see the Eiffel Tower. I would love to go see the pyramids. I would love to go to China and see the Great Wall of China. I would love to see all that shit, but I've never was like, fuck them. Guess what, sweetie? I have my passport right here. I can show you. I've been all over the fucking world, and I did that. You know what I mean? And then now I see my friends hating on me. Oh, he goes here. You go the fuck out of here, bro. Get your life up.
Exactly. Like, but there's ways. There's ways to get there. There's ways to fucking travel because sometimes I go places for like not a lot of money. Like I think I went to Mykonos and did all that shit in Santorini for like $4,000 with my mom. Yeah. Like including herself. I didn't pay for all her stuff.
Yeah, two people. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know the best way to not travel for niggas? I'm gonna teach y'all a secret right now. Hold on, I gotta pull out. Look at that. This is a camera. These shoes are called Vans. I think they cost about $50. So I buy one pair of these and I wear them every single day until I can't wear them anymore, and then I buy another pair. So what I'm trying to say is stop buying fucking Jordans, right?
No Supreme.
Don't buy no fucking Supreme. Don't say none of that shit. For fucking 3 pairs of Jordans, you can fly overseas.
But you can buy N75. Any wallets, any handbags, any bags you want, you can buy N75.
You gotta start making like collars and shit.
I'm about to make a necklace wallet for your iPhone.
That's fire.
My new shit.
My shorty just
and it's I can't even tell you.
Yeah, don't.
It's new.
My shorty just got into. She bought all these like leather tools because she's into like kind of like BDSM a little bit. So she's been learning all that stuff, and she just made this dope ass fucking harness.
Nice.
Yeah. It's pretty fire. But do you do leather work too?
No? Yeah, I have a handbag company.
Yeah.
I have an sounds like an ad. It was not planned, but I have a handbag company. I've been working on it for 2 years. I've self-taught myself everything online. I'm one of the few brands that's made in America. And yeah, I make all my stuff. I'm going to start painting more stuff. I have an airbrush machine. I'm airbrushing stuff.
Do you ever do embroidery?
I have an embroidery machine that I bought in December. So
I've been using it though.
I made one thing and I'm going to make like some stuff with the logo that I made on it, but that's it.
You know, before I met you, every time I would go to the studio with Morgan, I would see all your like sewing machines and all your stuff. And she was always like, you need to meet my friend Maria. I think you two would get along so well. She's half black, half Mexican girl. I think you guys would get along so well. And you ever have like your white friends be like, oh, you know,
you're gonna let him tell the nigga I know.
That other black friend, you're gonna love that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever have like your it's funny when you're like your white girls who are friends, like not girlfriends.
For sure. But Morgan's chill.
But like, so my and his girl has always been like, yo, you're gonna love this. You have so much in common. So we meet each other, and she's like, oh, has been telling me a lot about you. Has been telling me a lot about you too. And then me and her like kind of pull each other to the side. It's like, I think she just likes us because we're both brown. Like,
I ain't got shit to do
Yeah, like
it
ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah, me and her like.
Yeah.
She's cool though. Shouts out to that girl. I'm not gonna say her name, but
I think you did.
Whatever. You know who you are.
I can believe it.
Yeah, she's a bad.
We're gonna cut it.
She's a badass Dominican bitch, dude. Like, yeah, she's a baddie. She's really sweet too. She be driving motorcycles and stuff. Yeah.
I think I'm the formula for Dominican, but I'm not Dominican. I'm Mexican.
Bro, you look mad Samoan to me.
What?
Or like Hawaiian or some shit. Yeah.
Hawaiian.
You look like you could
Samoan is lit too.
You look like you could be in fucking what's that movie?
That beautiful
Moana or little fuck with a rock and shit. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I get all kind of shit. I get all.
What is the weirdest shit that you got?
I think Jamaican and Chinese. I didn't know there were so many Chinese people, Asian people that lived in Jamaica, and I was like, damn, okay.
Where's the weirdest place that you've been, and they were like, oh, you're one of us, half black?
It wasn't that. So I can't say that I've ever had that experience, but I had an experience where I was dating some whack ass motherfucking dude, and I decided I needed to make more money. Yeah. So I decided to Uber drive. Who lets their girlfriend fucking Uber drive in LA? Who fucking does that? Anyway, I was Uber driving. Yeah. And I was Uber driving all these places, and I took someone to the airport. And then at the airport, I went to go get gas, and I walked to the 7-Eleven, and this guy was like, oh, I know an Indian face when I see one. Welcome to my store. What do you need? And I was like, I'm so sorry, sir, but I am not Indian.
You should have got the discount, bro. I was
like, I'm so sorry. Because he was going to ask more questions.
Yeah,
he was on 10.
It was a gas station?
Yeah, it was a gas station.
Nigga, I would have got the gas for it.
I was like, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm not. I can't claim it, but like,
I've been trying to get the discount with the gas real quick.
He was on 10. He was gonna ask, where's your family from? Where's your mom from? He was gonna ask everything. I was like,
I remember I
can't lie.
The first time I went to London, I was with the same of my ex, and we were in this like all the way in East London in this like fucking Arabic ass neighborhood. Everyone was Arab, and shouts out to all my Arab homies. Arabs.
You have so many shout-outs.
I just love everybody. I gotta shout them off. But like Arab people are the most fucking. They're so friendly. They're very loving and stuff like that, and they'll embrace you and they'll teach you about their culture. If you ask them, they're so peaceful, and like there's like Islamophobia. I do not fuck with that at all. No way, shape, or form. But like Arab people are very, very friendly and loving, and they're very embracive and like. So I'm in this Arab neighborhood, and in East London, and everyone sees me, and they're like, "Oh, he's a half black Arab American boy."
What?
They're all like, "Come here, please meet my daughter. Like, eat some halal." Like all this, they're being fucking so friendly to me. And then they would see my Jewish like girlfriend come around, and they'd be like, "Brother, no, we don't do those kind of things. It's haram." I'm like, "Bro, I'm American. I'm like a Christian. I got a big ass Jesus tattooed on my stomach. I'm not that. Yeah." Yeah, fuck, dude.
Why are you disappointing them people?
They would get so heartbroken. No, I remember being in Tokyo.
No, buddy. My friend,
yeah. I remember one time being in Tokyo, and there was this bad fucking Chinese American bitch, and we were all in like a common room like this. She was just bad, bro. I don't know. She was bad, and the first night I got to Tokyo, I saw her, and since she was Asian, I just assumed, all right, she's Japanese. She probably doesn't speak English. So I was chilling, mad lonely, watching Aladdin, drinking whiskey, like almost crying. Like, yo, I fucking miss like home. I was mad homesick because I had just came from mad other places. And then like the end of that week, I meet a bunch of other friends, and we're sitting in the same common room, and I'm talking to this fucking people and stuff like that. And she's like, "You know English? I thought you were like a Japanese dude." I was like, "Bitch, Japanese where?" You know what I mean? I thought you were like a black Japanese person.
Hey, she might have not. Shit.
Yeah, I was like, God damn, yeah. So people would always come up to me and start speaking French to me. Because I guess I might look Haitian or something.
People think I'm French when I go to Paris, but I'll be putting that shit on. I'll be wearing red lipstick, which I love red fucking lipstick. The pandemic has stolen that from me.
Yeah, fucking these masks.
And then, I wear leather jackets. I be wearing flash. I be wearing all black when I'm in Paris. I be having my hair out. I be like, and I speak a little bit of French, enough to get like a table and order wine. And then once we start going into like more dishes, I fucking lose it. I don't know that much. Like my French ends.
That's how I feel about my Spanish. My Spanish is trash. I can only speak Spanish when I have to speak that shit. Both my parents.
My dad forced me to speak Spanish.
Both my parents are very bilingual. Never taught me Spanish. Then people like, yo, this motherfucker's lame. He don't know Spanish. I was like, motherfucker, that's you. My mom's favorite line. Like, I remember I was seeing this Colombian girl, and I introduced her to my mom, and they're talking mad shit about me in Spanish. Like, oh, how come he doesn't speak Spanish? And she was like, He was like, he didn't want to learn, but she's saying this shit in Spanish. Yeah, she's just wilding this shit. I could speak Spanish really well to my grandmother because she didn't speak English.
Yeah.
So to go to her house, like, I had to speak Spanish to her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, like, recently when I was in Barcelona with Morgan, I had to speak a bunch of Spanish because, like, Morgan, I love you, baby girl, but, like, she would be like, tomato, cerveza, por favor. Yeah,
leave my friend alone.
Yeah.
Leave my friend Morgan alone.
Now, you know what white people fucking... They get mad nervous if you speak another language in front of them. So they'll start talking mad loud and slowly. Like, do you understand? Like, we need to go to the hotel.
Leave my Morgan alone.
So she was doing that, so I had to speak mad Spanish. Yeah. My Spanish is alright, though. It's pretty good. In Spain, I was
leave my ginger babe alone. Ginger babe. That's what I'm calling her from now on.
Nah, that's pumpkin spice mommy. That's what I call her.
Pumpkin spice mommy.
Or ginger snap mommy.
Yeah. That's her new fucking Instagram.
Yeah. But yeah, my Spanish it's pretty fire. But the only thing, like the Spaniards is the word I'm looking for. Why do you motherfuckers speak Spanish like a bunch of snakes?
Because they had a previous emperor who spoke like that.
That shit gotta go.
And they chose to do that. I mean, they follow a bunch of weird shit. They followed people who were so fucking inbred, they had facial deformities.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, España, but like, you guys did some weird shit. You guys also burned all of the fucking things in the Aztec fucking empire, all of their documents. So fuck you, putos.
Also raped everybody.
Yes.
And made some beautiful ass people. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, okay.
But fuck you.
Not to rape nobody though, just saying, they made some beautiful ass Afro-Latino, and they brought slaves too and all that shit.
Yeah, fuck you, hoes. Yeah. But still, we're going over there.
Yeah. Also, we're fucking all your hosts too.
No, we're not fucking all your hosts.
Yeah, I love me a Spaniard chick with green hair, blonde hair, and eyes.
Earlier you said blue. You so enamored by white bitches. He said, "Oh yeah, these girls have blue hair and like blonde eyes."
I did say that.
Fuck?
Your man has dyslexia. I'm tired of people throwing that in my face. All right? I have a learning disability. Also, wait, this is kind of off topic, but like one thing I've learned recently, right, is like queerness and non-binariness or whatever you would call that. It reminds me, like the way I understood it, I just understand how to grasp it.
Can you explain it?
So, like, if you're queer, it means your sexuality is a whole spectrum of things. You're questioning your sexuality. There's all these different things, like the whole LGBTQ. But like, there's
you're open to find out new shit about yourself, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's very like non-binary. Is not one way or the other. But the same thing is like
I'm down to
understand
myself in the present moment.
Even like concepts of gender. It's like if you see someone who,
this is a lit house podcast.
Yeah, if you see someone who to you is a beautiful woman because they're female presenting and you're like, oh, she's beautiful, and she's like, oh, actually I'm not a she, I'm a they them, whatever. Like it was very hard for me to grasp that shit. But the way that and this literally took me like 2 weeks ago I figured this out.
Okay.
It's like the way I understand it is I filtered it through like my own Latino-ness basically. Okay. Because I have fucking first cousins who look like the whitest white fucking boys. I have cousins who look like fucking Nelson Mandela, Blue Black, Ace of Spades, Midnight Black, and everything.
Nelson Mandela is a chocolate man.
In between.
You saying Blue Black? You mean Blade, motherfucker?
Yeah, like Blade. What's his name? Charlie Murphy, Black, Darkness, Darkness.
I know. I heard you say that earlier, and I was like, Nelson Mandela ain't no motherfucking dark. He's like my mama.
To me, that's dark. I thought my pops.
My mama's dark.
I thought my pops was dark skinned, but like nah, apparently.
No, your dad is light bright. He's light bright. He's like me in the motherfucking wintertime.
Him and my brother, I always thought they were light skinned because me and my mom were like light skinned and shit. I thought they were dark skinned because me and my mom were light skinned, but nah. Also, like, yeah. To me, I thought he was dark skinned, but he's not.
No, not at all. You can just send me that picture so we can put it up on the podcast.
Again, on some broke boy, no identity shit, I can't text or do anything.
I know your identity.
Can we put it in the camera?
Stolen.
Or something like that?
No, you can send it to me and I'll add it. I promise I will add it.
Yeah, I use words a little too strongly. Like I always thought my pops and my brother were dark skinned because of me. Like
this is me and my mom in Miami.
Oh shit.
Masaki's like recording us. He's like, okay. My mom.
How tall is your man?
I don't know. He's told me before, and like.
Centimeters, yeah.
But I'm American, so I don't know anything. You can tell me that, but like I have a lot of shit in this hard drive. That shit does not compute, my guy.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, it seems to me like you're like, yo, it sounds like I haven't worked in a minute, dude. Because I just had a chunk of money when my dad died, so I just been just chilling, living my best.
Why don't you do NFTs?
Fuck NFT. That shit is fucking Beanie Babies. I ain't doing that shit.
Why not? Do some fucking graffiti and fucking NFT that shit. Why you fucking doing it? I like it.
The only way I'll do NFTs is if I could do NFT dick pics.
Do it.
Yeah.
You can. There's no limit.
Speaking of dicks.
There's no limit.
Speaking of dicks, I'm super...
NFT OnlyFans.
Bro, every day I want to start an OnlyFans, but the only way to promote it is to fucking like put it on Instagram. Like, oh, like, here's my OnlyFans. My mom, like, internet stalks my whole entire fucking life. So I'm saying, like, I'm waiting for a shorty to die. When my mom passes away.
No! Do not say I'm waiting for my mom to die.
When my mom passes away, I'm gonna start doing all the pornographies, bro. You know how many fucking sex tapes I make all the time? I love to film myself having sex. I want everyone to watch it. But and the reason I feel like that is because I'm like super duper uncircumcised. And there is zero representation for uncircumcised people in pornography.
Well, then get your life. You can do that now.
Yeah. No, as soon as she dies, like the night my mom passes away, it's up for life. Yeah.
No.
It's going down.
It's going down.
It's going down. Yeah. When she dies, yeah, I'm about to be on the internet.
Dude, cool. That's what I'm gonna write my autobiography. You have no fucking clue.
When your mom passes away?
When everybody dies.
When everyone dies? You probably already wrote that shit.
No, I have it in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell all the tea when I have no parents.
Alright, so should we get into the story about what happened between me and or why?
Oh my god, we haven't even gotten to the real tea.
Why I'm with?
Why you fucking?
Alright, so me and Emily on a date.